Yo, you can't survive off no job out this motherfucker.
Today's economy still looking good, guys. Still looking good out there. Although the S&P 500 went down 0.5%, as well as the other three averages, the Dow Jones and the Russell 2000 and the NASDAQ also went down today. A lot of companies reported today. One of the big companies we reported today was Tesla. Tesla reported good numbers, supposedly. I don't know who's buying Tesla, but apparently their sales keep going up because people are still spending. I don't understand it. You don't understand it. But apparently out there in the real world or in Wall Street world, the economy is still doing well. Although in my world, which is the real world, Main Street world, we are all struggling.
I am so tired of having to pick out the dates and basically the times for when I can pay my bills because I can't afford all of them. Even with two people, I still have to figure out what dates I'm going to be able to pay this bill or that bill. This economy is literally so fucked and I'm so tired of it.
All right. Coors, the Coors Beer Company is going to lay off people. So if you are in the Denver, Colorado area and you have a job at Coors, you might want to check it out because with the next couple of weeks, they're going to be laying people off. U.S. debt rose again. U.S. debt is at $38 trillion. Last year was at 37, or the beginning of the year was at 37. So now we're at 30 trillion, 38 trillion, which means the government continues spending money and putting us at debt. They're not trying to save money, so don't believe all the BS. They're going to continue spending money. So your tax dollar is going to be it's going to continue being spent in stuff that we don't know where's it being spent. All right. So don't be acting like you're trying to save the U.S. government a dollar because it ain't working. Okay. Um, there was a bankruptcy today. Reported the company was called Primalend. Primalend caters to the subprime buyer. Your subprime buyers are the people who has a credit score less than 500 or less than 600, but mainly 500, which is the deep subprime people. And that type of primal lend caters to the auto finance companies that you see around in the hoods, buy now, pay here car companies. You know, the ones in the hood that you go to and your credit score is trash, but they'll sell your car with the interest rates of about 38%. That company went bankrupt. So that company, along with Tricolor and First Brands, three companies within the last 2-3 weeks have went bankrupt. They all center around the auto companies, the auto lending companies, or the auto parts companies, especially Tricolor and Primalend. That caters to the subprime people who have bought cars within the last couple of years with bad credit. They went bankrupt. Apparently, they're saying that this is not going to affect. It's not a contagion to the bigger credit market. I don't believe that. So think about it. It may not affect it as a contagion, but it will affect the economy because if people cannot, if these car companies or auto lending companies that cater to the low subprime people can't move, if they're bankrupt, they're not going. And if they're bankrupt, the other companies are going to also be get scared, right? They're going to get scared, which means they're not going to lend to the lower credit people, which means the lower credit people are not going to be able to buy cars, which affects the economy. If they're not spending or if they're not getting credit, it will affect the economy. So don't believe the hype when they tell you that nothing or that it won't affect the economy. Anytime a company go bankrupt, it affects the economy somehow because when a company goes bankrupt, that means they got to let go of their people, right? So their people is going to get fired. Their people is not going to have paychecks. And if they don't have paychecks, they cannot spend. All right. If you get fired tomorrow, are you going to be able to spend as much money as you did 2 weeks ago when you got paid? It's just common sense. So when you read these articles and they tell you, well, oh, the company went bankrupt, but it will not spread. It won't affect the economy. It's not a contagion. That's bull because any company that goes bankrupt, if they go bankrupt, they're going to have left people go. All right. It's just common sense. So do not believe all that BS that they're talking about. Other things that happen in the market today.
Beyond meat pumping might be a signal. Now, this is exactly what we were talking about in the prior video, that these trash companies are absolutely skyrocketing, which is a clear signal that you are at least near the end of the macro bull market.
Also, I made a video about the food stamps. Well, I actually made a post about the food stamp crisis that may happen on November 1st. I tend to believe that I just don't believe Walmart, Costco, Kroger. I just don't see those companies letting the government not give people food stamps. I just don't, because the people that sit on those boards, they have power, right? And a lot of these companies like Walmart, Kroger, and Costco, the bigger food chains, they get their money mainly 25 to 6%, 25% for Walmart, 6% for the others. They get their money from food stamps. They get the most exposure. So when people have food stamps, they go to those stores more, right? If they lose out on their money, their stocks are going to plummet. And do you think that these CEOs and the stockholders are going to let that happen? The ones that influence the government, the ones that lobby the government. I could be wrong. I might be wrong. I may be wrong, but I'm just using logic. So November 1st is all supposed to happen. We're going to see if they're going to let food stamps just not be issued out. We're going to see. One thing about food stamps, I heard that if they don't let people get food stamps on November 1st, um, they're not going to be able to get back pay or retro pay in December 1st. So how does that work? So you mean to tell me that Walmart is going to miss out on all that money? Come on. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist. I'm just using logic. They get 25%. They use 25% market share from food stamps at Walmart. They make all their money from there. People that have EBT, they go to Walmart to shop. Same thing for Costco, and the same thing for the Kroger merchandise, Kroger grocery stores. So just keeping it real, keeping the Econ 100, trying to give some knowledge, stuff I learned over the years, stuff I got right here, just by reading or just by paying attention. No conspiracies, just common sense. Common sense. Another tidbit for the stock market for you guys, just some knowledge. Every 2 weeks, the state, city, military, federal employees all get paid. Most of those people have a requirement that they have to put in at least 1% of their pay to their 401k or whatever type of 401ks they have. And then obviously those government facilities match whatever they put in, right? But it's a requirement that they at least put in 1%. So you can be guaranteed that every 2 weeks, there's billions of dollars going into the S&P 500. Today, you saw that the stock market was down a little bit, right? I bet you any amount of money that the stock market will go up either tomorrow, because usually those 1% amounts go in at Thursday evenings, right? So I bet you any amount of money that the stock market will go up tomorrow. Tomorrow, if not tomorrow, definitely Friday. Even about a little bit, it'll be green. The markets will be green. I've been looking at this for the last couple of weeks or just the last 6 months, just checking it out. It usually goes down like on a Wednesday before everybody gets paid, and then billions of dollars are pushed in by federal, state, military, and city employees on Thursday night or whenever they get paid, and then by that Friday, the stock market is greens. Just telling you, just a little tidbit. That's something I learned. I'm like, something is shady here. So when you got all that money coming in, obviously the market's going to turn green. So I noticed that some of the companies are starting to, just basically say, hey, tariffs are starting to hurt them, because tariffs are hurting these people. So they're starting to tell people that tariffs are hurting them. So Mattel reported their numbers yesterday. It was last night. And they reported that their numbers were hurt because of the tariffs, because most toys are made in China, right? Toys are not made here in America. I mean, it's rare that toys are made here. If you look on any one of your toys, you go to a dollar store, you go to a Five and Below store, most of that stuff is made in China, right? And tariffs are affecting the toys that are entering the United States. So people are just not paying it. Mattel have to pay. They took the hit in the beginning. You know what's going to happen? Then now the people that buys these toys are going to start taking a hit. So you may see prices go up even more during Christmas, because if Mattel, one of the biggest toy brands in the world, is reporting that tariffs are hurting their products, hurting their revenue, you best believe the other companies going to do the same thing. Like Hasbro. Hasbro is also a big toy company. They hasn't reported their numbers yet, but I guarantee they're going to say the same thing about tariffs are starting to hurt them. Because in the beginning, when tariffs were first introduced, a lot of these companies were taking a hit. They were taking the hit because they didn't want to report that tariffs were hurting them. But now it's starting to eating their profits. So guess what's going to happen? They're going to start pushing those tariffs on the customers. and customers are not going to be able to afford it. We got Thanksgiving coming up, and we got Christmas coming up. Big holidays. We also got other holidays that are recognized by other communities coming up in December. So all these gifts are going to be super expensive. Tariffs are starting to hurt. Tariffs are going to be put on these products because they got to make money. These companies are not going to take the hit on tariffs, especially on holidays. Black Friday, you think Walmart is going to take the hit on tariffs when they can just give it? They can say, hey, you know what? This is 50% off while they raise it 70%. Come on, man. Like, I'm just using common sense. They're going to raise prices on us. It's just going to happen. But apparently, out there in Wall Street, the economy is doing really well. But me and you, I don't know. I'm not saying we're all struggling, but it's definitely expensive out there. We can't afford most stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So there you go. That's today's economy with Keep It Econ 100. You already know. Lock in, subscribe, comment, subscribe to the channel so you get more of these videos. I got a lot of videos out there. I want y'all to take advantage of it. Watch them, comment. Please like the videos so my videos can spread to the masses. I don't write anything down. I just read a little bit and then I keep it up here and I spit it out the way naturally. There's no prep in this whatsoever. I'm just keeping it here and I'm spitting out to you guys. So look at the videos, like, subscribe, and comment, and keep it Econ 100. You already know.